Next on Worcester News Tonight, coming together to honor a fallen officer, how the Auburn community paid tribute to Officer Ron Tarantino with football. Plus, giving his family a lift. What major surprise awaited the Tarantino family at tonight's game?
Emulate the best in your community. You know, you have something to kind of hang your hat on. And our goal is just to perform with the passion and the emotion that would be respectful to Officer Tarantino.
People just gave tirelessly of themselves just to honor Ron and to help our family. So that's all I can say. I'm just really grateful. Thank you.
An emotional night on the football field as the Auburn and Leicester communities come together to honor the family of a fallen Auburn police officer and kick off the football season. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. Tonight's Top Cop game, televised right here on Charter TV3, was about more than just football. Auburn and Leicester are two towns Ron Tarantino served as a police officer. Tonight's game raising money for the Tarantino Fund and honoring his family. Tarantino's family and children were on the field before the game for the coin toss. Now afterwards, there was a touching moment as you see them go to midfield. But Ron Tarantino III, who is currently serving in the military, surprised his mom on the field. He is currently stationed at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. There he is, number 52, right there. He flew into Massachusetts for the game tonight. Thousands packed Memorial Stadium for tonight's game. Our Catherine Andrioli was also there and has a look at the game and the reaction from the family.
An emotional night for family and friends of fallen officer Ron Tarantino during a tribute Thursday night at Auburn High School.
Can't thank everyone enough for the overwhelming support that we've had since Ron got killed 3 months ago.
Two communities rallied together as Auburn and Leicester kicked off the season with a Top Cop game dedicated to Officer Ron Tarantino, who was shot and killed in the line of duty in May.
Our husbands work on the police force, so we've been involved with how they've been getting things together, and they're very excited about the turnout.
The community is honoring Officer Tarantino tonight with his badge number 74, painted right here in the end zone. This was his number before he was killed in the line of duty. Tarantino's oldest son surprised his family by bringing out the game ball. He is enlisted in the U.S. Army and is currently stationed in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Officer Tarantino's wife gave an emotional thank you to the communities who put on a touching tribute and have supported their family.
These communities have the biggest hearts of any communities I know. We are grateful to all of you for keeping his fun-loving spirit alive and by sharing in a time that represents everyone together.
Coaches say the game is a way to bring two communities together to heal and also honor first responders like Officer Tarantino.
And I think across America now you see sporting events kind of as a venue for a healing process. So I'm hoping this is part of that process for them.
Our goal is just to perform with the passion and the emotion that would be respectful to Officer Tarantino and, you know, the first responders in general.
In Auburn, Catherine Andrioli, Worcester News Tonight.
As for the football game, Auburn won 30-23. Kevin Shea will have a recap coming up later in sports. Earlier today in Worcester, city officials announcing more water restrictions as they move to a Stage 3 drought emergency. Worcester had been in the Stage 2 drought since July, and the lack of rain is forcing the area to take drastic measures. Our Brittany Schaefer reports.
We're quite a ways behind now, so even just normal rainfall won't do it.
The city of Worcester is now in a Stage 3 drought emergency. Thursday, city manager Ed Augustus announced a mandatory ban on all outdoor watering.
We need every resident and business owner in the city of Worcester to take this message seriously and to help us conserve our most valuable resource.
This is the worst drought the city has seen in 17 years.
It's the lack of rain, and it's really the large demand we saw early in the summer that's caused the condition we're in now.
The reservoir system is at 55% capacity.
In 1999, they were pretty much this low, but it's rare.
We are already approaching a 50% level, which is getting quite uncomfortable for those of us who have to manage the system.
The city stopped drawing water from the Quinnipoxet Reservoir 3 weeks ago. Since then, the levels haven't risen as much as the city hoped.
It's now been shut off for 3 weeks and it's come up about 1.5 feet. So at that rate, it'll take an awful long time to refill.
As for the future, the city's 90-day weather forecast is not promising nearly enough rain. This could result in Worcester purchasing $1.7 million monthly for water supplies.
In addition to the restrictions, we will soon activate an emergency connection to purchase water from the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority to supplement our supply. This is a costly but necessary step.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
The drought also impacting riverbeds across the state, including the Charles River. One problem is the growth of algae, which could be a deadly problem for dogs. Eli Rosenberg is along the Charles River with the details.
Let's see if we can get one on the first cast. Ramsey Haddad getting down to business on the Charles.
We're fishing in the Charles.
Haddad looking for a bite and unaware of a new warning posted around the Esplanade about an outbreak of cyanobacteria.
Really? No, I haven't heard that.
The signs went up recently. The blue-green algae known to cause eye, ear, and throat irritation in humans. For dogs, it can be even worse.
Do I encourage them to drink here where we know there are problems? No.
I probably wouldn't go paddle boarding in that part of the river.
Scientists like Elizabeth Cianciola
Value of phycocyanin has been exceeded.
Says the outbreak set up by an intense rainfall we got a while back, followed by an intense period of drought.
Because we don't know exactly what the risks are at this point, we are trying to encourage people to take the problem seriously.
Back on the dock,
I don't think I'd jump in.
Haddad looking to reel one in, even if it is just for a minute.
I just throw them back. I wouldn't eat anything from this river.
That was Eli Rosenberg reporting. An Oxford man is arrested early this morning for trafficking heroin. Mass State Police say 34-year-old Juan Otero had a warrant out of Worcester District Court. Otero was driving on Route 390 around 1:30 a.m. when officers observed his car with a headlight out. A brief chase ensued, and when officers tried to pull him over, police say he threw things out of his car, including a digital scale, black medical glove, and more than 26 grams of a substance believed to be heroin. Otero will be arraigned in Dudley District Court. 100 Boston police officers are expected to be soon wearing body cameras. Now, as part of a pilot program, 8 of them are members of the department's command staff. Here in Worcester, the program is being studied by the city's police department, and some residents say it's something that could help keep the community safer. Our Olivia Lemon has the details.
I think it'll stop a lot. I think a lot of crime would stop.
I think it'd be a good idea.
There seems to be support in Worcester for police officers to wear body cameras. It's a practice being studied by the city's police department.
I like them. I think they're good for police safety. They're good for public safety and police safety.
Chief Stephen Sargent says body cameras are an important tool and he'd like to be able to use them. But he says the cost of storing the video is expensive and there are some legal issues around it.
I believe for public safety and officer safety, they're good to have, but there are a lot of other issues, legal issues and budgetary issues that have to be addressed first.
Some residents say people may feel more safe in the community and the video can act as evidence in a crime if needed.
Having the cops have cameras on them, it's not a he said, she said thing anymore. You know what I mean? It's proof, and I think people will feel safer.
I believe that the benefit, even for one more additional component in doing a thorough investigation to bring both to justice or to prove that someone did not do a thing, whether it's a cop or an individual, I think it's worth the cost.
Pastor Esau Vance is the president of the Worcester Black Clergy Alliance. The group meets with the Worcester Police Department, mayor, and city manager often to discuss things like community policing.
We have ongoing meetings just to address those issues. We try not to wait until something happens and then say, what are we going to do? We have plans in place.
In the meantime, the police department will weigh the pros and cons of body cameras and what role they would play in the community.
Looking at business in Worcester, a popular brewery in the city is expanding. Wormtown Brewery announces its Shrewsbury Street location will soon have an automated bottling and keggling line. Owners say it's exciting to watch their business grow. Our Rosalind Flaherty spoke with the brewery about their future plans.
The demand for the beer is very high.
The award-winning Wormtown Brewery is overflowing with success in a small space. So much, they are expanding their operation again.
The bigger the better when you got an award-winning product.
Wormtown will be growing its brewing and packaging operations at its current location on Shrewsbury Street to keep up with the customer demand.
Every time I've gone into my local liquor store, they say they have a hard time keeping it on the shelves because it's so popular.
The distributors every week are asking us for more beer that we can't provide, so that's a tough situation to be in.
The new expansion, Wormtown's second in a little more than a year, will add at least 8,000 square feet for automation for the bottles, kegs, and cans.
Everything right now is very hands-on and manual, which is good, and it will still be hands-on in the future. We're just going to automate certain pieces of the process. In order to do more volume, we need to do it faster.
Brewmaster Ben Roche says right now they are producing between 15,000 and 20,000 brewer barrels per year, and the planned expansion will allow them to grow up to 50,000.
That was our #1 goal, is to make sure that Massachusetts has enough of our beer.
Wormtown regulars say the brewery makes a great product, and it's great to see its success here in Worcester.
Hope that with their expansion, they'll be able to provide more product and be able to get a great Worcester product out there for more people to enjoy.
You know, it's good to see something good, you know, making it in Worcester.
Rosalind Flaherty,